Scrapbook Memories has been made possible by Sizzix, the start of something new. Sizzix.com.
Well, we're talking about die-cut shapes and appliques, and Julianna Hudgins joins us again with a scrapbook page, but there's something different about this page. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, what's really fun is that there are a lot of different materials, specifically fabric, which I love working with that, and the combination of fabric and paper really, lend themselves to creating a one-of-a-kind scrapbook page or even a card.
Yeah, it's a different kind of texture that does look really cool. So basically, die cutting is not just for paper. It's also for fabric.
Oh,
so
my goodness, yes.
For quilters, this is something.
Yes. Quilters would absolutely love die cutting. And as you can see, there's so much inspiration. Basically, to get started with this page, I wanted to find a piece of paper that almost looked a little, dirty. So it has like that vintage look to it, because we have this playing outdoors look. And then I wanted to create a house. So I just made a template by laying that onto the fabric and then cutting. And I'll give you a little secret. If you go to the far side and the bottom side, that leaves you with only a couple of cuts.
Right.
So then at that point, I have my little house. And then of course, I just want to start adding different elements like the grass. And then from here, the rest of the inspiration is all of the different bits and pieces, and then of course the dies.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and we'll lay that there. I will give you this house.
This. Okay, but you stitch around that too to add that fabric appeal. I like that.
Right. So that really, really sets it off to a different look. Now, what I have over here is I have some fabric, and what I like to do is I like to put a webbing on the back of it.
Like a stabilizer?
Exactly, so that it just helps to make a really nice clean cut. It's not absolutely necessary, but I do like to do that when I'm working with fabric.
Now can you cut the fabric without an interfacing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so
I just like to make sure it's ironed and nice and flat.
Right,
Right. So what I'm going to do is I have my die, and I'm going to actually place both layers of fabric. So when you're working with these thicker dies, you can cut multiple layers.
Okay.
Then I'm going to take the cutting pad and take the next one. And then I'm working with my die cutting machine. So we'll just go ahead and move that right over here. Then I'm going to insert and roll.
Push and roll.
Yes.
Now I noticed, Jules, that you put with the fabric side down. Is that necessary, or?
Any time that I am working with a decorative piece of cardstock or a printed material, rule of thumb, I just always go face down so that I can repeat the pattern exactly the way that I see it. In fact, that might have been a little something you taught me along the way, if I recall correctly. So, really fun little tips and tricks, because sometimes when you look at the design, you really want to make sure that that is what is recreated.
You get what you see.
You get what you see.
I know, we love our die cutting machines.
So we have all of these cute little gears that we're going to be using. And now we can just kind of finish, making our page. And so what we want to do next is, it looks like we can actually add the little rooftops.
Okay.
And I have peeled back. This particular piece has an adhesive on it.
Okay.
And I
you
think
just
we want
place
to
it
make
right
sure,
down
yes, you can put yours down.
Okay, there we go.
And so this is acting as our tiled roof.
Our little gable.
Our little gable.
So
there we go.
Sweet.
It's really got a nice texture to this page. Oh, and by the way, all I did with the little chimney was I cut out our
Just
little
a little
rectangle. Yep, very simple. Very simple
let me
to
do that. And I can well, you've already got it on there, but it would actually, go on
We can
there
make it
under the
dimensional.
gable. Yes,
Sure.
definitely.
Now you have the rickrack over there.
Now this is actually a fabric rickrack, because I know there's a die that will give us this pattern also.
There absolutely is a die. So if we wanted to cut it ourselves, we certainly could.
There you go.
And we don't want to do too much dancing, so let's do that together. Very fun project, maybe if you're working with a younger one, you know, and wouldn't that be fun? You
Oh,
could really
gosh,
show them the
yes,
different
'Cause
textures.
we need to include children when
Oh
we do
my-
things like this.
yes.
And this is a great idea.
I love
And
crafting with
put
children.
pictures of the family in the house, so
Yes.
you could add more windows.
Very fun. So this will just act as our little stem.
And you know what, Jules? This would make a great quilt block,
Oh, yeah.
wouldn't it?
Well, and you know, it's almost like you're teaching two different things at once. You have scrapbooking going on, but we're working with fabric, so it's also like we're teaching the younger people about quilting, about sewing. So, you know, how fun is that? It's really neat.
Now, are these wagon wheels or cogs or
Oh, these are, I like that. That's fun, sure. Actually, they're gears.
gears?
Yeah, so they're gears that are on the die. There's like three different cuts, three different sizes. So we have our little one over here. And yeah, but they
Add a
could be
little
little,
button.
they could be
And
little
you know
wagon
what,
wheels.
as well, if we were doing this in fabric, I know that there's a fabric that you can actually put through your inkjet printer. You can print a photograph on it.
neat.
And then that would be a cool pillow.
Yeah.
You send to college with your son.
Oh, I
Wouldn't
know.
he love that?
Yes, oh yeah. He certainly would. Now this is really neat. You could take like a crossword and make a little copy, and then we're just going to lay that down. And then we have our little heart that we already, you know, die cut earlier. And we'll just put that down here. And I think you've got the photograph.
Oh, okay.
Because you got to have a photograph with our scrapbook page.
Yes. You know what? We're doing a lot without the photograph lately.
Yeah.
And which is fine
No,
too. But it's
sure.
always nice to add a picture.
Well, I like doing, you know, a lot of journaling, a lot of pages that have journaling. I think that's really neat. Now,
And
what
does
I
this go
did
on top of
here
here?
was I just created a little rectangle and then stamped a saying onto that. And then we'll just want to
Oh,
adhere
okay.
this. Yep, really cute.
That's really nice. There we go.
And then we just added a little ribbon, so we can just tuck that onto the top. And I think we have a scrapbook page.
I think that is beautiful. Like I say, it could be a scrapbook page
Right.
with all these shapes. It could be all out of paper, or it could be even all out of
Fabric.
fabric. I like this one because it's half
It's
and half.
really nice. Yeah, right. It complements each other.
Juliana, thank you so much. It's always a delight to have
good.
you here. And